I got a little bit of a cold, so I apologize for my voice. A little stuffed up. Hey, this morning I was watching Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. Their exhibition match. It was about 3 years ago. They were going at it, and Mike looked good. Mike was moving really, really well, and Roy, he looked okay. He looked old. I was like, man, still moving pretty good. I mean, very impressive. Well above anything I could do. But I couldn't help but notice, like, just how old he looked, And then after I got done watching the fight, I decided to look, how old are these guys, I was thinking Roy was probably close to 60 years old. Mike's got to be getting up there. In that fight, Mike was 54, okay? And Roy is 51. Barely a year older than me right now. And I was like, wow. Now, of course, Roy was in a lifetime of fighting, and he fought well into his 40s and probably way, way, way past where he should have. So there's probably a little of that going on. And he's got a lot of mileage on him, is what I'm saying. But I got to thinking, I'm like, I mean, that's a year older than me. And I'm looking at some of my videos, and I'm thinking, you know what? I'm moving pretty damn good. I'm doing all right. And I started looking at other videos, trying to find guys around my age. And there's some like Hollywood stars like Jason Statham, with Sylvester Stallone. He's getting way up there. He's way older, but he's doing really well. There's a few outliers, guys that are looking good. But the average person my age, wow. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's like scary. It's terrifying to think at any minute I could just totally fall off the cliff and decline and just go south. And for a lot, I was digging into some of the bodybuilders. You got like Ronnie Coleman, Phil Heath, a bunch of guys. Just going over the list of guys that are retired. Where are they now? What are they doing? How are they doing? And it's scary, man. It's scary that a lot of them they're gone. Like, they're not even, you can't even recognize them as people. But the flip side to that is there's some of them that have really kept up with themselves, and they're doing really well. To paraphrase one of my favorite people on this planet, Eric Weinstein, I think the guy is a genius, and I love him. I could just listen to him for hours. I don't know the exact quote, but he basically stated that we die 1,000 times before our death. If we live to the age of 90 and we die, that's our true death. But we die a bunch of times before that. You don't know when the last time you're going to do something is going to be. A good example, when I was at my best, I was playing basketball in the Marine Corps, and I was going to try out for the division team, and while we were running a full court game, I went up for a rebound and blew my knee out. I had no idea that at that moment, that was the last time I was going to play organized sports. Like, that was it. That was the last time I actually played on a team. I still shoot hoops. My knees have gotten better. I can go out there and I can run with the kids. But I had no idea that moment was the last time I would put a uniform on and walk onto a court and actually play against another team. That's a good example. Like, when my injuries got so bad that I had to get out of the Marines, I did not know that was the last time I would put a uniform on and no longer be a Marine. Same with it was Olin. I was working for Olin, and a lot of guys had been in that plant for 30 years. And I thought, man, I found my retirement job. I was getting paid really well as an operator, and I worked my way into the engineering department, and I was just shooting right up the chain of command. And I thought, man, I'm going to be like, supervisor. I'm going to run this plant. And, they went bankrupt. We got laid off. That happened in Molycorp too. A couple times in my life where I thought, this is it. I found my gig, and I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. And I'm in retrospect, I'm really glad it happened. But at the time, you just don't know when the last time you're going to do something is. And it happens just like that. It comes without warning. You have no idea. And this is for all my people that have been in like horrible accidents or have become injured, and it's changed their life in profound ways where they can no longer do the things they used to do. You just don't know. It doesn't occur to most people, including myself, when the last time you're going to do something is. What's the point I'm trying to make is, like, I think for me, the reason why I do what I do is because I have a fear of becoming irrelevant. I'm not afraid of getting older. I'm not really even afraid of losing my abilities to do things. It just happens. That's part of life. But I've noticed in our current culture, we no longer respect our sage elders. Oftentimes when someone older is speaking, and I notice this at work, I just notice it in life, I will often hear people say, "Shut up, old man," or like, this motherfucker, he's old. You know, like, what does he know? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, the guy's been he's forgotten more about your job than you will ever learn, and you're dismissing him because he's old? Like, when did that happen? And back in the day, you know, we couldn't wait for Grandpa to regale us with his tales of, you know, yesteryear and the men that came before us, because they were just built differently, and you knew you were going to get some nugget of advice from Grandpa that was going to just change your life. Like, he just knew. Grandpa knew. Dad knew. All these guys, they all knew. And now it's like we look at older people and like they're children. Like, they don't, like, what could this guy possibly know? This old dumb motherfucker, you know? When did that happen? Man, it's like a societal shift. And that's a big fear of mine. Is like I'm slowly starting to cross. Like, I could start to see the wrinkles. You know, they're coming. I used to have a baby face, and people would always tell me how young I looked, and now nobody's asking for my ID anymore. You know what I mean? And that's fine. I mean, that's the way it should be. It's like we made it. You know what I mean? It's like it's not a curse to get older. It's a gift, because tomorrow is not guaranteed for anybody. So the fact that I made it this far is awesome. But it's like, yeah, there's this existential fear. It's like, I'm just going to wake up tomorrow and it's all going to be over. Same thing with this powerlifting. You know, I don't know when my last meet's going to be. It's such a big part of my life, you know. I have so much meaning behind it. It's changed my ways in so many profound ways. I could go on for hours. You know, it's not, for a lot of people, lifting weights is just something they do in the back end of their day. You know, it's something that we just do. It's part of our routine. It's part of what we do to maintain our physical looks, our health, and some of us really enjoy it. But for a select few, it's more than that. You know, powerlifting has brought me across the world. It's introduced me to so many people, so many awesome people, so many different adventures, so many things that I never would have been able to do. And same thing with my work. You know, I have a job that, you know, that sends me all over the place, and I just love it. I love the fact that you just don't know what you have to be open-minded to it, though. You got to really keep an eye out for it. But for me, it's not just lifting weights. It's ingrained. It's ingrained and is a part of who I am. And I love it so much. And I don't know when the last time I'm going to do it is going to be. But, you know, I'll tell you what. 10 years ago, I wasn't thinking about, when I turned 50, it's like, oh, that's this year. You know, it's coming. It's moving quick. Man. I watched training videos of Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr., Evander Holyfield came out of retirement, and he got beat. Like, it was elderly abuse. And I'm watching a bunch of older guys that are getting back after it. That Overeem guy, what's his name? The French, the kickboxer, Alistair Overeem. I was watching him. And you know what I got out of it? I'm doing all right. You know what I mean? Like, my cheesy boxing videos where, you know, I'm barely ambulatory and I'm not moving that great, and people are like, you're not turning your hips over and you need to do this and that. And when I look at the guys my age getting after it, I'm doing pretty good. You know what I mean? So that fills me with hope. That means, like, you know, maybe I still can do this. And tomorrow's promised to no one. So it's easy to kind of like look at things globally and fill yourself full of dread. And, you know, this is what I always tell. I think I told this to my wife the other day. You know, like, we were looking at all of our problems, and it seems like it's overwhelming when you look at everything. And I said, you know, life's a turd, you know, but you don't have to chew. You don't have to eat the whole turd at the same time. You can just take little bites. You have to eat the turd, but you don't have to eat the whole thing. Just take little nibbles, you know what I mean? Like bring your world down, narrow the road. Fix one thing. Dr. Jordan Peterson said, clean your room. Sounds so stupid. But when life gets overwhelming and you start thinking about, oh my God, I'm 60's coming. What am I going to do? And am I going to retire? Am I going to have enough money? And am I going to become irrelevant? Am I going to be able to power lift? Are people going to just put me to the side and ignore me? Or will I still be able to, you know, like, oh, no, just focus on today. Today, I'm getting ready to compete on March 17th. And I'm probably going to hit this bag after I get done with my work. And for today, life's looking pretty good. I don't know if you got anything out of this. I'm just rambling, but like, subscribe, do all that stuff. I will see you guys on the battlefield.